Welcome to What in the Duck podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Dream Machines of Texas, www.dreammachinesoftexas.com. All your used motorcycle wants and needs all in one place at www.dreammachinesoftexas.com. They have multiple locations with large inventory and get new bikes in every week. Knowledgeable staff with great service and financing and extended warranty options available. They also have a complete service garage, so every bike is gone through and brought up to speed before you hit the road. I have bought more than a few bikes from Dream Machines over the years, and I could not be more satisfied. I've also had friends from all over the country buy bikes from Dream Machines because they couldn't find a better deal anywhere. You can buy a bike and have it shipped to you anywhere in the U.S. Why buy a brand new bike with that brand new high price when you can get a like-new bike with that dream deal you've been looking for? Go to www.dreammachinesoftexas.com and get a bike and get your ass on the road. All right, everybody, welcome back to What in the Duck podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck, and today's guest is Patty from the Cliff Sandlot Baseball League. Maybe it's a league, maybe it's just a get-together. You're going to find out today in the interview. So, that being said, we're going to start off, as we always do, with some questions from the Gmail. If you have any questions you want to ask me, you can just email them over to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com. And if I answer your question on the podcast, we will send you some What in the Duck podcast goodies, some merch, some stuff, some things. So email your questions on over. Ask me anything you want. If it's dumb, I just won't answer it. If it's not appropriate, then maybe I will answer it. So, also, as always, I like to please remind everyone to share, to like, to comment, to subscribe, especially on the YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. That way you're in tune with all the things. Plus, we have a contest going. We're going to give away some stuff, free tattoo, all kind of merch to a lucky subscriber. So you cannot be eligible to win unless you're a subscriber. So click the subscribe button whenever, right now or, later after you're done listening. If you're on any of the other platforms, you can also do the same thing. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. Tell your friends that you listen to What in the Duck podcast, and it's your favorite thing in the world, and you can't wait for everyone else to jump on the bandwagon. So we're going to start off with a couple questions here. Lauren Wagner. Very, very simple, straightforward question here. Oliver, what's up? Just wondering what kind of music you like, who are your top 3 bands of all time, and you seen any cool concerts lately? Well, I like a wide variance of music, but I also hate a wide variance of music as well. I pretty much love stringed music. That's what I've boiled it down to. I love guitar-based music. I love acoustic country. I love hard rock. I love psychedelic rock. I love punk rock. I don't like the new country. And I think when I say new country, it all, like Garth Brooks, may not seem new to you guys, to the younger generation, but to me, that's new. So Garth Brooks was the beginning of the end. That's when it went, wow. And then, because you got Garth Brooks, and then you blink of an eye, and you got Billy Ray Cyrus, and ain't nothing worse than that. So I blame Garth Brooks for opening the door to even let Billy Ray Cyrus in the goddamn room. It's your fault. George Strait, it's your fault. You started that pop country bullshit, and then everybody else like, oh, well, it's okay to do this now, and now look what we got. Not saying that George Strait is as bad as what it's become, but that's where it all went bad. I like the real country. And there's a lot of I don't say new country. There's a lot of current modern bands that play old country style music, which is what I like. My favorite band of the modern era, I say, or currently touring that I'm into and currently putting out new albums is Lucero. Most people know that, which they have a country vibe. They also have a rock and roll vibe. They also have just like a Bruce Springsteen-y kind of vibe in some albums. They have it all. Kind of like punk kids that grew up and played more acoustic music, whatever you want to call it. If you haven't heard of Lucero, check them out. We're about to go on tour with Ben for the Bike Riders Tour, which we always do. If you don't know about that, there's plenty of our stories about that too. But as far as like, I love classic rock. I love the Beatles. I love the Stones. I love all the stuff from my childhood in the 80s, early punk rock, Black Flag, Circle Jerks, Dinosaur Jr., Jawbreaker. I can't really pick a top 3 bands of all time because every day, some days you're in the mood for Waylon Jennings, some days you're in the mood for Dinosaur Jr., some days and to me, those two aren't really that different in the way that I hear them. Although they're very different on the spectrum from the genre of music to genre. It is really difficult to pick a top 3 bands of all time when I like a wide variance of music from time. I love Prince. I love James Brown. I love Joe Cocker. I love... it's too much. There's too much. There's literally too much to boil it down. I mean, I love the Beatles. Probably, I think they're probably the greatest band of all time in certain conversations. But to pick a top 3, some people could maybe boil it down, but I just can't do it. I could definitely tell you what I hate the most. Pearl Jam, yes. Pearl Jam, no go. Pearl Jam, it's so strange to me that seemingly the things that hit the top 10 seem to always be the worst. How does that happen? How does it happen? I literally hear something and I'm like, there's no way in hell that anyone would ever listen to this and then turn around, it's number 1. Turn around, Taylor Swift, there she is, top of the charts. Total garbage, the worst. The worst music, the stupidest lyrics, the worst style, the worst everything. Everything, Lady Gaga, the worst. Pearl Jam, Guns N' Roses, Stone Temple Pilots, all that stuff. Just how do people like it? I boggles my mind. There's certain things that are bad, but have a couple of good songs that you can jam out to, and I'm okay with that. But there's other things that are turn the station, turn the channel, turn the stereo off, hit like something comes on at the tat shop. I mean, Pearl Jam will not come on at this tat shop, for one. I'll promise you this, because we have Spotify and I have blocked it from coming on. But there's certain things that come on and you cannot hit the space bar fast enough. I just literally start screaming, space bar, so somebody can touch the computer and stop the music as soon as possible. There is a lot of things that are blocked on the Elm Street Tattoo Spotify. Obviously Taylor Swift, obviously Pearl Jam, obviously Nirvana, the worst. And what's even worse is the young kids today that wearing Nirvana t-shirts when they, what happened? What happened to the world? As far as have I seen any cool concerts lately, I love to go to concerts. I love to go to see live music. I've only been to a few massive arena shows in my life. I did see the Rolling Stones. It was great. I did see Roger Waters' The Wall. It was great. But the big arena shows, I just don't really do it. I like small club venue shows, small shows, rock and roll shows, punk rock shows, country shows, small venues where you really are part of the music. Trying to think of what the last couple concerts, I went the other night to the Agrolite show in Dallas, and it was at the same venue where I saw Jawbreaker. I guess that was not that long ago, maybe less than a year ago, which was amazing. And I saw the Bronx recently, which we love the Bronx. So, I try to go to concerts quite a bit. working at Elm Street Tattoo in Deep Ellum. There's Trees and Three Links and Club Dada and everything right down the street. So there's a lot of shows, and I like to pop in, and I love live music. So thank you, Lauren, for your question. I did not answer your question, but I did talk shit about the things that you asked me about. So that counts. Next question, Brandon Reed. He says, Oliver, congratulations on a kick-ass podcast. Yes. You heard it here. Podcast is kick-ass. I've been a fan of your art for 20 plus years. I have 2 questions for you. Feel free to answer one, both, or neither. Who the fuck cares? What are your 3 essential punk rock albums that everyone must listen to? See, this isn't saying this is my 3 favorite bands of all time. This is a different kind of question. And then he says, in a world that seems to be more and more divided, in your travels, have you experienced trends or behaviors in other humans that unite us rather than tear us apart? That's going to be one of those questions where I talk about and may or may not answer it. As far as my 3 essential punk rock albums that everyone must listen to, I mean, this isn't going to be the most punk things in the world. I'm not telling you that I'm the most punk person ever, and these are the 3 most punk rock albums in the world. But for me, and the albums I listen to the most, number 1 for sure, Dear You by Jawbreaker. It is later in the Jawbreaker career. It's a little less punk than the earlier Jawbreaker records, but it is finely tuned to be a masterpiece. And I still feel it falls into the punk rock genre. But Dear You is definitely one of my favorite albums of all time. And I feel like it is definitely a must listen to. I would say you would need to listen to all the Jawbreaker albums also to get to the point where you experience the evolution of it. But it is as flawless of a complete album, in my opinion, as you can get. There's a lot of bands that have a lot of great songs, but I never skip a single song on Jawbreaker, Dear You. It starts at the beginning, you play the whole album all the way through. If I'm in the car and I'm listening to the album and I get to a gas stop or get out to pee or whatever, and you stop it, I get back in the car and whatever song was in the middle of when you stopped it, I go back to the beginning of that song to get that song all the way through. Can't just hear half that song. Want to hear the whole song. Can't interrupt it. Sometimes they'll even go 2 songs back just because the transition between the one song to the next song is important. And the album is a masterpiece through and through. Every song in order. So when Jawbreaker played the 25th or whatever anniversary of Dear You, and they played the album fully in order, it was an amazing concert. Probably one of my favorite concerts of all time. Because a lot of times you go see a concert and it's like you're anticipating, you hope they play the song, you want to hear that song, you wonder when it's going to come up or how it's going to. This concert, you knew exactly what song was next. You knew exactly what was coming. You were ready for it. Every single person in the goddamn room was screaming every single word of every single song for 1 goddamn hour straight. It was fucking phenomenal. Man. Jawbreaker, Dear You, on the list. I would also say that Minor Threat, first Minor Threat album, is a must listen to punk rock album. Minor Threat kind of did the opposite thing of Jawbreaker. Minor Threat started out, their first album was one of their best album they ever made. And then they just twiddly-deed off into whatever and became other band, and which also was Fugazi had a great album, and then they twiddled off or whatever. They didn't evolve into the greatest. They started out with a bang, and then, but anyway, first Minor Threat album is punk rock. It is also every single song in order is perfect. One more essential punk rock album. There's a lot of people could go different genres of punk rock because there's heavy, there's hardcore, there's pop, there's this, there's all these other punk rock. For me, I say Green Mind by Dinosaur Jr. Also, not the most punk record. Also an evolution. Earlier Dinosaur Jr. albums were way more punk. Later Dinosaur Jr. albums are way less punk. This one's like right in the middle of the transition, but for me, it's the songs, it's the particular songs that are on that album. There's other great Dinosaur Jr. songs, but it's a whole album, Green Mind, from start to finish. Every single song and the transition from each song to the next is a perfect build. So Green Mind by Dinosaur Jr., Minor Threat, and Dear You by Jawbreaker. And that's kind of like my favorite kind of punk rock music is stuff that falls in that genre, stuff that comes in and evolves from there. A lot of the music I like nowadays is later J Massa stuff, which evolved from Dinosaur Jr. Loved Blake Schwarzenbach's next endeavor after Jawbreaker, which was Jets to Brazil, which was a lot less punk, but people still put it in the punk genre. So the next part of your question, Brandon, I do agree. This world seems to be more and more divided every year. The extremists and the fringes and the edges, everybody is marching in these directions. Like everybody on the right is getting more right. Everybody on the left is getting more left. Everybody that's punk is getting more punk. Everybody's getting country is more country. It's like everybody is going away from each other. And I just think that everyone, wherever you are, needs to just turn and look the other direction a little bit more. Just consider the concept that we are all in this together. Instead of trying to sway everyone to one particular view and everybody over here trying to drag everybody this way and everybody here trying to drag everybody this way, instead of that concept, let's just circle the wagons. Let's just circle the wagons a little bit and let's say, hey, this is what I want to do and this is how I want to live. But it's okay if they want to live this way and they want to do this, and we can do all that at the same time. It doesn't have to be a divide. There's plenty of room. The country is big. The world is big. You can do what you do and they can do what they do at the same time. You know, there can be two clubs right next to each other, one playing country, one playing punk, and it's fine. You know, you don't have to shut down the other club and make everybody come to your club. Just live and let live. That's basically. So have I experienced any trends or behaviors in humans that unite us rather than tear us apart? I don't know exactly what trends it would be. I just see a lot of people only seeing things from their own point of view. I see that a lot. And maybe that's a trend. Maybe the trend is people are not opening their eyes to, you know, what else is going on. Obviously, once you get to the furthest extremes, the right and the left, it starts getting asinine very quickly. The insanity is rampant. And the people all the way on either side are just pushing it so far that the people in the middle are just like, what is going? If you're in the middle, I consider myself to be slightly in the middle. And I look at both sides and I'm like, it's chaos in every direction. It's insanity. So I don't know. I don't know if there's anything we can do. I think if everybody, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't think there's anything that any one person can do to really make a huge difference. I think if there is somebody that's kind of looking at things from a general overall perspective, let's say Robert Kennedy Jr., someone like that who has a great stance and a great message, nobody's hearing it because he's stifled, because he's censored, because he's deplatformed, because anybody that has him on their podcast, it gets yanked out. So the news channels are only throwing up their one puppeteer on each side. And if you watch CNN, then you're only hearing this side. If you watch Fox, you're only hearing this side. It's insane. And I think we're screwed. Brandon, I don't think this answers the question, but I think we're screwed. And I guess that's it. I guess we're out of time. I guess it's time to get this show on the road. So we have a very interesting interview coming up right here, right now, with Patty, Patty, from the Cliff Sandlot Baseball Organization. It's a great interview, and it was very informative for me because I absolutely knew nothing about what he had going on other than I knew that it existed. So me and you are going to learn all about it together. So let's get on with Patty. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Anchor Screen Printing. Anchor Screen Printing has been printing t-shirts and merch products since 1999. Anchor is the place for quality, small-run items. At Anchor, every print is hand-done by people who care about art. No mass-produced, machine-operated printing done here. You can email Anchor at anchorcustoms@gmail.com to talk about getting something printed for your company, brand, or shop. Anchor Screen Printing also has its own online merch store that sells Elm Street Tattoo, Cheap Thrills, Heart in Hand, Party First Safety Maybe merch, and much more. You can check it all out now at anchorscreenprinting.com. All orders at anchorscreenprinting.com over $35 have quick and free shipping in the continental U.S. So go to anchorscreenprinting.com today and buy some cool shit. Or you can click the link provided in this podcast to shop now. All right. Take two. Here we are. What in the Duck podcast. I'm your host, Audra Peck, and we're here today with Patty. How you doing, Patty?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to the luxurious VIP booth at Mio Tia's Mexican restaurant.
It's pretty impressive.
Happy to have you. So let's start off with your full given name at birth.
It's Michael Philip Evans Jr.
Michael Philip Evans Jr. We call Court Jr. here too. I always think it's interesting when people have the passed down name. I had a buddy of mine on here who was the third, and he did not continue the lineage and did not name his kid the fourth. Do you have a kid?
Yeah, I've got 5.
Is he the third?
No.
You missed out.
No, it's...
you got to pass it on.
I'm not attached to my name at all.
But obviously your name is Patty.
Yes.
Which has nothing to do with Michael Evans.
No, it has nothing to do with it whatsoever.
So what did the nickname come from? Patty like patty cake.
Yes, Patty. It was intended to be a girl's name.
So somebody's making fun of you and it stuck.
100%. That's pretty much the whole story.
There you go. I mean, those are the best nicknames. When you embrace it, I mean, it becomes endearing.
Yeah, I was just in a band at one time, and with my really long name, and I am a junior. My dad is Mike or Michael, and so as a kid, I went by my middle name, Philip. So at the time, those were my two names that I used. One was for work, one was for friends and family. And the band that I was in would call me at work or call me at home, and they'd have to ask for different names. So they just asked one day at practice, "What can we call you?" And I was like, "Whatever," because I'd been in the band for like 2 weeks. I didn't care. I didn't know if I was going to see these guys in another 2 weeks. And so we went out that night, and they were like, "Yeah, this is our new drummer, Patty." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." I was like, "I'll never see these people again. I don't care. Call me whatever you want." And went out again on my own, and those same people were like, "Hey, it's Patty." And I just kind of rolled my eyes and said, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then, nearly more than 20 years later, I'm still Patty. Even my in-laws, they only call me Patty.
So Patty is taken over.
Yeah.
The nicknames have erased the real names.
Yeah,
in work, life, family, everywhere.
I'm like Seal. I'm just Patty.
There you go, Patty. When you sign your name, you don't sign checks, Patty.
No, I can't.
You still sign checks these days?
I have a few. We get sponsorship stuff. I have to sign the back.
All right.
I've had people send us sponsorship money and put it under Patty.
And they're like, I can't cash this.
The banks give me a hard time, so I have to kind of circumnavigate that.
Well, when you're talking about sponsorship, you're talking about the Sandlot Baseball League.
I am.
Yeah. So that is the thing that one of the big things we're going to talk about.
All right.
Patty here. I know very little about you other than your name is Michael Phillip and that your nickname is Patty. And I intentionally inquired zero because I wanted to be fresh. I wanted to learn new things right here with everybody else.
Okay.
So basically, the Sandlot Baseball League, it's basically exactly what it sounds like. It's people getting together and just and playing baseball.
It's really no more complicated than those two words.
But it's organized.
To an extent.
But it's not like strictly regulated organized.
Oh, absolutely not. I prefer it not to be.
It's a bunch of loose cannons. I know some of the people on the team.
Yeah.
And
we have 5 teams now. We've grown quite a bit.
Well, I know some people on the
River City Honeybusters.
Yeah. I know John.com and Dunaway and Josh.
They're our rival. My team's rivals.
Oh.
The best games are against the Honeybusters.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I got some stories.
When I say best game, I mean the most fun.
The ones you win by the most points.
We've lost to them plenty of times, and it's 50-50, but they're the most competitive in our version of competition, and the most. It's really we just hang out. We just hang out and we kind of play baseball at the same time. I mean, imagine if you're sitting at a bar and you're hanging out with your buddies,
and
drinking beer and listening to music and talking shit. We're doing that, and then it's like we have to be interrupted to go bat.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how it works.
Well, how did it start, and when did it start, and who all was involved in starting it?
All right, well, there's a little bit of a pre-story to when it actually started. So I used to manage and play on a competitive adult men's league team.
Highly organized.
Yeah, highly organized, very competitive, lots of machismo, all that kind of stuff. And
big trophies.
Yeah, big trophies. There'd be some cussing and fighting every now and then. It just, it was pretty intense, but it was fun. And I did that for about 10 years. Very successful. We won all of our things we needed to win that people cared about at the time. And I just started kind of getting a little burnt out on it. I think that's a little too much for my position at the time, but it was in that general vein. And I found out about Sandlot Baseball in general, mostly from Austin. There were a bunch of Austin teams down there, like the Texas Playboys. They're the big head honcho that really kind of pushed it out into the sunlight for everybody to see. And there's a place down there called The Long Time, which is a fantastic, amazing place to go play baseball or just hang out in general. It's so cool. I like explaining it and seeing pictures of it doesn't do it justice. As soon as you walk out there, then you're like, oh, okay, this is cool shit. It's all handmade. It's kind of like this place, but if it was a baseball field. That's really what it is. It's like this place, but if it was a baseball field. And so I found out about that. I took some like-minded players from around my league and on my team at the time, went down there to venture down, play a couple times over 2 or 3 years, and just kind of fell in love with that genre and that vein of baseball, adult baseball, and decided that's where I wanted to go with any future endeavors as far as baseball. And that's kind of how the Sandlot started. But also, it really started for me personally, like when I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop everything, which was really hard because I was very tight with a lot of these guys in the league I played with. I'd been with these guys for years and years and years. We've done a lot of cool things together and won a lot of championships. and that were set us apart in that arena of baseball. And it was very hard to give up my baby. I mean, that was something I built, because it's not easy. It takes a lot of work.
It sounds like you wanted to like take it back to when it was just fun.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. There was a fork in the road, and I went down the more competitive vein when it split away and the fun kind of left. And I was really feeling that a lot, as far as the loss of the fun part of it. And when I found Sandlot through the teams down in Austin, that really that propelled my love for the game even more, and going, oh, there's a different way to do this. Like, I can do. I love baseball. Like that's my sport. I love baseball. I love everything about it. And it just kind of helped me go down the road that I really wanted to be on. And then what really made me push forward and actually do it was kind of had like I don't know. I'm 47 now, so I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, you call it a midlife crisis. I don't know when that's supposed to happen. But I had my grandfather passed away, and I was really, really close to him. And then about 2 weeks later, my best friend since second grade passed away. He got COVID and passed away. It was like super fast. It was really weird, because we're only a few months apart. Sorry. It even when I talk about it, it gets me. But sorry, take a second there. Okay. And it just kind of came to the point
you said life's too fucking short.
That's exactly what I said to myself. I was just like, he's my exact same age, and he just died out of nowhere. And and then also seeing my grandfather and seeing his life, and it was just, I don't know, it just kind of, all the different pieces, it pulled them all together in one spot, gave me something to focus on. It kind of gave me something to do and push for, and kind of, to work past, the emotional wreck I was at the time. And it gave me something to do. And it, like you just said, it was just like, if not now, when? And I could be dead tomorrow, and I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. So I
didn't enjoy everything I was doing, or I made decisions on which way to go because of this feeling, because of this instead of that. And a lot of people in their 40s have those moments where they're like, fuck, what am I doing?
Yeah,
like I've worked so hard in my 20s and 30s and 40s, and now where am I going? Where am I going to end up? I'm going to end up like this person I know who's in their 80s and wish they would have done something different. You know, and life is short.
It was part
for
of that
some
too.
people. Like, it's a lot shorter than others.
Like, my grandfather, like in his last 5, 6, 7, 10 years of life, like he would mention things to me about, oh, I wish I could have done this, or I wanted to go here, and da da da. And he knocked out a few of those things, but that was part of it too. Just remembering him at, how was he, 83, 85, something like that when he passed. Just knowing that even a man at that age who'd done a bunch, I mean, he'd been around the world in the Navy and all that kind of stuff. Just knowing that there were still things that he wanted to do that he didn't get to do for whatever reason, just life, kind of gets in the way. And then with my friend passing, I put that in perspective of, I compared him to myself, because again, we were the same age, and I'd known him since second grade. So I was just like, I've got to do this. So I just kind of dropped everything, handed it off to somebody else that I trusted to take care of my baby as my baseball team. And then I just went all in to create the Sandlot thing. And I just kind of took some pieces from other cities that were doing it, and kind of
it's an own separate organization.
Correct.
And it's called
Oak Cliff Sandlot
Baseball League.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, we're not even
just Oak Cliff Sandlot.
League is a word that I don't like to use, because I think it just has connotations of record keeping, score keeping, who's doing this, who's doing that. Like there's some kind of organization
order.
Of everybody and what they're doing. And I try to stay as far away from that as possible. I mean, most of the time we play, I don't even know what the inning is or what the score is. I'll go to at bat and I'm just like, what's the score again? Oh, we're winning by 2. Oh, we're losing by 5. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Just because, again, I was sitting at the bar with everybody drinking and smoking cigarettes and talking about taxes or, old man stuff, and listening to music and not paying attention to the game. So it's cool like that. That's what I want it to be. I want it to be more of a social thing more than a baseball thing, but the baseball brings everybody together.
But it is growing.
Yes, it's growing. It's really cool. It's really cool how it's.
So within your own organization, you have 5 teams.
Yeah, we just got a brand new team this year.
And y'all sync up with other organizations to go play
Yeah.
in other places.
Yeah, we go to Tulsa has a huge Sandlot organization.
So they're all calling them Sandlots.
Yeah.
So
it's, I've told a few people about this.
That's kind of the distinction of like how serious we're going to take this. We're here to have fun. You want to play Sandlot, you want to have fun, you're coming with us.
That's pretty much the only requirements. I mean, we just tell people bring a glove, bring a friend, play baseball. That's kind of the little slogan. But even if you don't have a glove, someone's got an extra. We'll make it work. But yeah, like I just copied places like Tulsa, who has a great organization up there. Austin's fantastic. How they do things. And I just took a few pieces of them and kind of crammed them together to make sure that we can include everybody. Skill levels, not even a thing. We don't care. And it's like, if you pitch, I mean, I guess pitching would be a thing that we want, but
it's
really
the hardest to find, right?
It's really the hardest to find because it's hard to throw strikes. It's a lot harder to throw off a hill into a shoebox than you think it is.
Oh yeah.
Even if you throw 20 miles an hour, it's hard to aim the ball there every time. So, like I pitch and I don't throw anything over maybe 45 miles an hour, but I have a good skill as far as like being able to throw it where they can hit it.
Yeah.
I want them to hit it. I want everybody to participate, I mean, it's fun to strike somebody out because I feel like I did something, I accomplished a little battle, but more than anything, I want the person batting to be able to hit the ball, to feel that they did and they contributed. And then I want the person that fielded the ball to feel like they got to play because then they got to field the ball, throw the ball to somebody else who got to catch. So if I can just make it to where somebody can hit the ball, there's 3 other people involved there that got to participate in, me playing baseball. So it kind of stacks like that,
And so when did you start this?
2022.
Oh, it's fresh.
It's fresh. This is our 3rd year.
Cool. And but you've already, I know, I've talked to John about it, and John went out of state to play.
Uh-huh.
So this is, it takes kind of a little bit of organization to get everybody together and time-wise and planning-wise to take a road trip to go play a baseball game.
It's like being in a band.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You were talking about the word Sandlot. I mean, it's more of like, say if you're in a punk band. So if you're in a punk band, you're playing with other punk bands.
Yeah.
Right. So when a band comes to town, you're just like, if you hit it off or whatever, they're cool dudes, whether you like their music or not. If they're cool dudes, you want to hang out with them. Well, you reach out to them in the future and go, hey, we want to come up to wherever and we want to play in your town. And then they set up the show for you and they put their friends on and they bring their friends and they want all to see you. And then they may have a party or whatever to, kind of hang out afterwards. And Sandlot's the exact same way. We're going up to Connecticut. We're going to New Haven, Hartford, and Albany, New York at the end of August. And it's the same thing. I got 3-4 teams. I was about to say bands. 3-4 teams on a little chat. Said, hey, we want to come that direction. Can you hook us up? And they were all just like, absolutely. And I mean, within like 2 days, they were like, we'll play here this time, blah, blah, blah. And they're, they'll hook you up and, set you up and, make it fun for you.
So you're actively enlisting new players.
100%.
Always new players.
Every day.
And these 5 teams that you have are all local to Dallas?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. And so it just takes somebody to start a new team.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We get people all the time that reach out that, are asking, how do I join a team? How do I do this, that, and the other? We always tell people first to come to the pickup games. So we do these pickup games, which is basically a free-for-all as far as baseball goes. And we do them at Lake Cliff Park. So we try to stay consistent as far as that location and in Oak Cliff. And plus it's a cool place. It's got a cool background and everything. You can see downtown, the fountain, the water and everything. But we do those on the first Saturday of each month, March through November-ish, as far as we can get before it gets too cold and wet to where it's not fun anymore. And we just invite anybody and everybody to come out. A lot of the teams will come out and kind of use it as a practice just to play and really just hang out. A lot of us that are on teams already don't honestly play during those because there's so many new people and we want to get them the opportunity. So it's really, we just sit around and bullshit like this while we watch other people play baseball and they ask us questions and, that kind of thing. Just kind of show them like the vibe that we're going for, which is super chilled, super relaxed, just hang out. And, I try to make a really good habit of anybody that I've never seen before that comes out there, I say hi to them. Because I know how it is just to, you walk up to a bunch of randos in a park to go play baseball and you don't know anybody. And, some of them look scary, depending on what you think scary is. But, we're a bunch of weirdos out there just playing baseball. And so I make an effort to say hello, introduce them to other people going, hey, this guy's new. And then that way, they've met 2-3 new people as soon as they show up, and then they feel comfortable and have somebody to talk to. And then, just kind of feeds off. Cause then, say like John, I introduce Joe Blow to him that shows up, and then John's like, hey, and then, John may talk to him later in the inning or during the game or introduce him to one of John's teammates or other friends. So, I try to make sure everybody's included as much as humanly possible, and that nobody just kind of, can slide in. Because I feel like if they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
They want to play baseball. They want to meet new people. Because, Dallas is growing too. And there's a lot of people that play with us that just moved to Dallas from other parts of the country, and they don't know anybody, And so I try to make that connection and that adjustment for somebody new, or just somebody who's just never played baseball before and they feel very intimidated, which I always tell.
There's a lot of people that used to play baseball and then haven't played in a long time, and they're out of shape and they don't think they can get back into it.
Yeah,
this is your target demographic.
100%.
Yeah.
Honestly, not even that. It's not even people that have played baseball before. Like, I just want people that want to play baseball.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. I mean, if you want to play competitive and you want to be super baseball man, then there's places to go for that.
Yeah.
We're not that. Like, we have some really good players in our again, I hate using the word league, but just for this, in our league that are very, very good baseball players. John has one, Drew Willard. He's fantastic. I've got a guy named
Not John though. No, John has one on his team. John has a good player on his team.
Yeah, John has a really good player.
Not to be mistaken with John being the good player.
No, not at all. Don't forget that twisted at all. And but there's another guy on my team named Ben Carey. He's a fantastic photographer, but he's also a really good baseball player. But those guys, they understand, they really see the love that we have for baseball, and they really see what we're trying to do, and they mold themselves into fitting into that. But with their baseball knowledge and their skill, they can use it where they need to, but they don't use it to dominate anybody. And they use it to teach people and those kind of things. And we're grateful for people like that.
Well, what's your main avenue of getting this word out?
Just social media stuff. We have a website, oakcliffsandlot.com. We've got the Facebook and the Instagram, and it's Oak Cliff Sandlot. But then all the teams have their own little pages. And
you're just trying to promote people to come watch, people to come play, all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above. I mean, mostly to come play. I mean, the pickup games is what we use as our hub to bring new people in to see it. Because a lot of people are intimidated, again, just by the word baseball. They're thinking 90-mile-an-hour fastballs and all this kind of stuff. That is not happening. That is not what we do. That is not what we do at all. And so I drag people out all the time and just sit and watch a couple innings. And if you tell me you can't do this, then I totally understand. Most of the time, within 10 minutes, they're like, "Oh, I want to play."
Yeah,
because they're like, "I can do this."
Yeah. Well, how many other Sandlot organizations are you aware of or in contact with?
There are a bunch, and I would say almost every couple months there's a new Instagram page. Instagram has kind of worked its way into the Sandlot thing as far as being where everybody kind of goes to as far as to promote themselves. But there's one, pops up every couple months. There's Seattle. John always complains there's nobody in Chicago. So if anybody's in Chicago and wants to start up a Sandlot team, reach out to me. I'll tell you how to do it. It's very simple. But Chicago John is very upset that there's no Sandlot in Chicago. But there's Seattle, Salt Lake City. There's all in LA, San Francisco, all over Texas. You got Houston, Austin, San Antonio. San Antonio is a big one that's growing. Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, St. Louis. I'm just Chicago, Nashville. There was one in Alabama. There's all the people that are out in the, I think it's called the Carolina Collective, all in that area. There's about 5 or 6 teams out there. There's the Doc Ellis League, which runs through kind of Pennsylvania area, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. There's where we're going to go hang out with a bunch of guys up in Connecticut. It's, I think it's called New Haven Ball Club Society or something like that. And that's the Connecticut guys, the New York City guys, and the New York State guys. So it's all over the place, and it's really fun.
So for your group, who is doing all of the administrative, like scheduling and all that kind of stuff?
For Oak Cliff Sandlot pickup games, that would be me. For my team, it's basically me. I used to be a booking agent a long time ago in a land far away, and so like I just kind of have that
scheduling.
I have that gene that likes to organize and likes to do those things. I knew people, like when I was in bands, everybody hate to book shows. I was the guy that would always do it. When we go on tour, I was the guy that booked the tour. Like, I just like to do those things. So, I do a lot of that, but really it's up to the teams individually. We make sure that if they join us or we help them create a team, they're on their own. Not 100%. We will give them direction and give them links to things that we use, but mostly whatever they want to do, they do.
Are you trying to play? Everybody trying to play once a week? Everybody trying to play? What are they trying to do?
So the way we do it is that we have our pickup games on the first Saturday of each month. And then usually, depending on scheduling, the second Saturday is what we call our team play or our double header. Because since we added a team this year, they didn't get put into the schedule since it's an odd man out kind of deal. But every second Saturday, we do a double header. So us 4 teams rotate. And in that way, we already had it preset for the year. It's already on the schedule. And then we all get to play each other and hang out once a week. So we usually do like a game after a game, or just like a couple Saturdays ago, we went to Norbuck Park out in East Dallas. And there's 2 fields that are back to back. So we played 2 simultaneous games at one time, which was fun because you could hear each other. And it's a blast. Everybody was hanging out.
Cool. And the what's the big thing you got going on for the future? You got some plans?
Well, we'd like to get more sponsors. That'd be cool. We have some great sponsors, if I can say these.
Yeah,
I would love to, just because for people giving us money to help us do this social experiment that we're doing, we're very grateful. So our big title sponsor, I guess you call it, is Wingstop. There's a guy in Dallas that owns a bunch of Wingstops, and he was trying to do a community initiative, and he also plays baseball, men's league stuff. And we knew a bunch of the same people, but he reached out to me, and he really, really helped us out. And basically the whole purpose of the sponsorships is to make sure that the field fees are paid for. We have all the gear, we have all the equipment. I'm able to, go to the store on the way to the field and get all the beer and water and ice and, snacks for everybody. And, just take care of everybody, make sure that, again, they can just show up with no glove or a glove and be able to play and are taken care of. So we do that. And so Wingstop is a big sponsor for us. And then we also have local sponsors that are Emily Ruth Cannon Real Estate. There's Melissa O'Brien Real Estate. We have the Texas Theater. Barack plays on my team that runs the Texas Theater. We've done a few events over there. John, is it Virtus? I always say Sets. Virtus. Goodness. Sorry, Set. Virtus Barbershop over in East Dallas. Set plays with John on the Honeybusters, and he's one of our sponsors. Get a good haircut from Set over there. And we also have Methodist Hospital that's down the street from Lake Cliff Park, and they do a little community initiative and sponsor us too.
Well, that's cool. So for the sponsorship, is each team in charge of their own uniform and all that? Do they have to, each player got to get the uniform, or is that something the sponsors cover? Or
no, sponsorship is basically for Sandlot's Oak Cliff Sandlot as a whole. So again, like I said, it covers all the pickup games and those kind of things, but it will also get us one of the things because of Wingstop's participation, we're able, when we travel, Cliff Sandlot.
Free wings?
Well, I keep getting asked about that constantly. I haven't gotten the free wings yet, but the money's working fine for now. But we're able to, if we have an out of town game, we're able to pay for the Airbnb where everybody goes to. So that way the players have one less cost, and they're going out to whatever city it is as Oak Cliff Sandlot. So we do the housing as long as they can get there. So like we did that for El Paso. We'll do it for Tulsa. We're doing it for when we go up to Connecticut, stuff like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So need more sponsors.
Need more sponsors.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
But for each team, I mean, the Honeybusters got pretty cool uniforms.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you were asking about the teams and stuff. Yeah, they do their own thing. I was about to say allow, but that's not the right word. That sounds too authoritarian. But it's more of just like we want them to do their own thing. You know, we want them to create their own logos, create their own look, do whatever the hell they want. Like, be unique, be your team. You know, because my team is not the same as the Honeybusters. It's not the same as the Redbird Aviators or the White Rock Mudbugs or the East Dallas Booze Hounds. Like, they all do their own thing in the way that they want to do it, and we prefer it that way because we want everybody to just, you know, have fun the way they want to have fun. And so yeah, they get their own sponsors. Let's see, like Honeybusters have the double wide. Let's see, White Rock Mudbugs have Charlie's. Let's see, the East Dallas Booze Hounds have Good Friend. A lot of that it's funny, that team pretty much was built out of everybody hanging out at Good Friend. It's all the regulars. So they're there all the time. But that's
I'm sensing a common theme of the sponsors here.
The bars.
The bars.
It's all the people that were, again, it goes back to all the people that were hanging out bars. All they did is they just moved it from that location to a field, and then they put a bat in their hand. I mean, that's pretty much the difference.
Very cool. So how much more cooperation do you expect in the future with other Sandlot teams around the country? Do you envision a time where this gets to be where there's a lot more travel, a lot more games coming in and out, and a lot more?
Yeah, I really do.
I feel like the growth is going big right now.
Just on us alone. I mean, I'm sure that other people look at it different from the outside, you know, look at me and what I've helped create. But like, as far as me personally, like, I'm amazed that this even took off. Like, I'm telling you, I mean, the very first pickup game, I created a Instagram page like a week before I decided to do this or so. I went out and made flyers the old school way, cut and paste. I glued it on a piece of paper. I Xeroxed it. And I just went around Oak Cliff and just stuck it in windows and, you know, clipping it onto telephone poles and stuff like that. That's all I did. Like, that's all I did. And our very first game, we had like 30 people show up, and just total randos that just saw a
like,
flyer hanging on
baseball.
I know. But that's the cool thing about it, is because that's how also we start the teams, because that's my team is basically that first group. When they all came out, I just said, raise your hand if you'd like to play more than once a month. If you want to start a team, all the guys that did, we started a team, and that's still pretty much our team now.
Very cool.
And that's how the new team that just started up, Redbird Aviators, they started with our first pickup game this year. And I did the same thing. I said, who wants to be on a team? And they all raised their hand. And I said, you guys need to talk to each other and work it out. And then within a month, they had a team logo, uniforms, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's just, you make something and you get to make it, because you're starting from scratch.
And you're making it as easy as possible for people to just be a part of something.
Yeah.
Seems like there's very few hoops to jump through.
Oh, there's zero hoops. I mean,
you just show up.
You just show up.
You just want to be a part of it.
I get a million messages through Instagram all day, every day. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to sign up? And I'm just like, first Saturday, show up.
There's not like a
Like,
send your resume to this
no
application form.
And they're telling me like when they played baseball or when they didn't play baseball. And I was like, I don't give a shit. Just if you want to play, show up. Like, don't text me anymore. You know, I mean, not in a rude way, but you know, it's like, I can't do anything for you if you don't show up at noon at the field. Like,
yeah.
Like there's nothing I can do to help you. Like, it's all you. We'll get you there, but you gotta show up. You know, like, don't be scared.
Well, what are you doing for a day job?
I work for how do I put this? I work for I'm trying to put it in like a fancy way. It's not really fancy, but I work for a international bank, and I work in the fraud investigation department.
A lot of fraud going on.
Lots of fraud. Most of it is just paperwork. It's people disputing their credit scores and stuff like that. Going, I don't remember buying that car 10 years ago that I had repoed. You know? Yeah. But yeah, but it can be fun. Like when there's a case that, you know, you get to dive in a little more and kind of really do investigating. It's fun to do. Yeah.
How are they gonna stop all this credit card bullshit that's going on? Because every 2 days, somebody you know has had to get a new credit card, get a new card, get a new debit card because somebody's charged a bunch of shit on it.
I don't know. I mean, I work on the auto finance side of it. So, you know, there's a little more of a protection as far as like there's steps involved when you get a car loan. So there's a lot more, you know, boxes to be checked and I's to be dotted. So we can catch a lot of stuff in advance of that. But it's really, I mean, the only thing I've ever really learned out of doing this for my own personal use is that just be on top of your credit. Yeah. You know, you can sign up for Experian and it's totally free. And there's no reason to pay anybody to ever take care of your credit, honestly, unless it's just completely fucked up. But if you just have bad credit like I did at one point in time, because, you know, I was 20 years old at one time, you know, you just keep tabs on it. You can fix it on your own. It's a very easy thing to do. It just takes a little time. That's all it is.
Well, I was talking about stopping the credit card fraud in general. You know, like, I don't understand why they don't how they don't just figure out how to make that not work. Because somebody got my card and bought a few $100s worth of Little Caesars pizza. And then they bought like $700 worth off of Nike.com.
Yeah. They probably tested it first with the pizza to see if it cleared.
Yeah.
And then they went crazy with it.
And they went and got all this shit on Nike.com. Yeah. And I'm like, you ordered shit. It delivered to an address. Go to that address and kill all those people that live there. Like, at least catch them. At least find what's going on. But they're like, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, I think there's... this is just my personal opinion, but I think there's just a divide between, you know, a giant corporation that does that kind of stuff and what it costs you as the consumer compared to what it costs them. As long as they can cut it off and just write it off, like the inconvenience to you, they just don't give a shit.
I mean, they just it takes a couple weeks to get your money back.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you're on your motorcycle driving across country. Now you can't get gas because your card don't work.
Yeah, that's happened to us a couple of times on road trips with the family and stuff. Yeah.
So you have enough free time with your day job?
Yeah, I work from home, so I'm pretty free. That's why I'm here right now.
Don't tell your employers.
Oh no, I told them they're cool with it. They're super cool. It's kind of one of those just get your work done.
As long as it gets done, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works.
And so you have plenty of free time for this endeavor.
Yeah.
And
until the kids get home. So they're out doing stuff all day.
How many kids you got?
I have 5.
5?
I got 2 adult children, and I got 3 at home.
God,
so I started early, you know, when my credit went bad that I was talking about earlier in my 20s. That's when those other 2 kids appeared.
How old are these kids?
My oldest, he is 29.
Plays baseball?
He does not.
Loser.
He is not. He tried to play baseball when he was little, and it wasn't his thing. He lives in Montreal, and he's still in college.
College in Canada?
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's
that sounds terrible.
He loves it. Montreal's a great place. Been there a few times.
And then 29. What else?
27. My oldest daughter, I just found out the other day. I don't have much of a relationship with her, which is just, it's a long thing with her mom. So it's you know, my family found about this the other day and was just like, oh, poor you, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, it is what it is. Life happens. But anyway, I just found out I'm a grandfather. So yeah, I'm a 47-year-old grandfather now, which is fucking wild. It's crazy. And then I have my other three at home. I have a 16-year-old.
Sounds like trouble.
Yeah, she can be. She's cool though. She phases in and out of being a 16-year-old butthead into being like, you know, a cool kid. So she like waddles back and forth between those two things. And then I've got a 12-year-old and an 11-year-old. So
sounds like a lot.
It is a lot, but it's fun. When they get to like a certain age, like they're real people, and they have real.
Once they can have rational thought.
Yeah, and they'll debate with you, but they're like with like good points, and you know, or they'll. I've always heard this, but it is so true. They are the worst and best of you in one person. Like they have all my bad habits that I get onto them about, and I'm just like, fuck, I do that too. And, you know, but then they have the same humor as you and stuff. So they'll say funny shit that I'm just like, that's a good joke. You know, like, how did that come out of you? You know, just the sense of humor and stuff like that. But my son, Floyd, he's 12. He, for a while he was doing this. He's going to try to do a game, but when we have our double headers, he was coming out and playing, he plays piano. So I started getting him into playing, you know, Take Me Out to the Ball Game and da-da-da-da-da-da and all that kind of stuff. So we hook him up to a little speaker and he plays during our game. That's exciting. Yeah, it's fun. He spent a lot of time on it, but he's kind of drifted off from that a little bit just because he wants to hang out with his friends. He didn't want to hang out with me and John and the rest of us old guys. Yeah.
And your wife?
My wife's a teacher. She's an art teacher, and she has been for over 20 years.
And she's good with all this.
To an extent. I mean, yeah, to an extent. I mean,
she's highly supportive.
She's highly
following your dreams.
Yeah, let's say that. She's 90% all in. Maybe 85% sometimes.
Is this going to get, I mean, it's manageable.
It's manageable, but my goal is someday when
it just grows by itself. And you keep doing what you're doing.
I want it to be long past me, whether, you know, I don't do this anymore or I die tomorrow. I want this thing to just continue on without me as though I was still not there. And that's why I'm kind of a control freak in that way. I think that's why I said I was a really good booking agent, and you know, I always ran stuff for bands because I like that. It's not the control, but I like to organize and put the pieces in place to make them all fit.
You do what you can do.
Yeah, and I want it to be. I hand over a lot of the little jobs to other people so that I'm not the only one doing it. So it feels like they're contributing as well. Because a lot of people are scared to ask, but some do, and I'm more than happy to do that. But that's also why the teams run themselves. I don't want any part of what they do, because if I'm not here, I want your team to continue on doing their thing regardless. So I'm just trying to build something that can continue on forever.
Well, I think an important part about what's going on here and what you're doing, whether it's baseball or skateboarding or any other activity in general, for people in the middle part of their life to stay active.
Yes.
You know, it's very important.
Correct.
A lot of people that don't, and it's social.
Yeah.
Stay social, stay active, keep moving, keep something going. It helps with every other aspect of your life. You know, if you just work and just go home and just do this and just do that, and
you get stuck in a rut.
Yeah. I mean, there's mental benefits and health benefits to just being active and doing something and staying, you know, body in motion stays in motion, a whole story like that. But so it's like a lot of people get to a point when they're in their 40s and all their rowdy friends have settled down and they're married with children and they're stuck at home. They got a job that maybe they like, maybe they don't, maybe they're busy, maybe they're not, but they need something.
Yeah.
You know, and if you like baseball, this could be the something.
That's pretty much in a nutshell is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's just I have seen a lot of adults that have showed up to play because we're 21 and up. We keep it that way. We've had some people try to bring their kids out or teenagers or whatever, and we're just like, this is adult.
This is not PG.
This is adult time.
Yeah.
Like this is adult time. This is, big girl, big boy time. Like we're no kids, no kids table here. We're doing adult stuff. But
I think they should do that. And I think the Las Vegas should enact that rule.
Las Vegas as a whole, as a city? Or
the whole city. I think this
21 up?
21 and up. If you got a kid, you got to go.
Yeah. It would probably clean up a lot of the incidents that they have if you did that.
It would be amazing.
Yeah. I bet you that would work.
It would be so amazing.
Yeah, but I
got thrown out of a casino in Vegas for cussing at the crab table. And I'm like, what? This Las goddamn Vegas? And they're like, sir, you need to watch your mouth. There's children. I'm like, what the fuck are there children at a crab table?
There shouldn't be children in a casino.
There's children. In Las Vegas, there's children everywhere you fucking look. I'm at the crab table. Here's a crab table. And then here's a little rope that separates the area.
Yeah.
And then there's this little fake river that rolls through at the fucking New York. And there's an ice cream stand right there with kids getting ice cream by the crab table. And so I'm yelling hard motherfucking 8. They're telling me to watch my fucking mouth. And I throw a fucking fit and they fucking throw me the fuck out of there. I'm spending hundreds of dollars in this place. This little shit kid's getting $8 worth of ice cream.
Are they all like that?
And you choose the kid with the ice cream over the me with all the with the stack of money? That's a bad business decision.
Are all the casinos like that? I don't go to Vegas, so I don't know.
I mean, all casinos now, all the big casinos now have things that cater to families.
So there's no like
all the big MGM Pirates. There's a Pirates of the Caribbean fucking.
There's no degenerate gambler.
No, there are
resort.
There are. There's like the Imperial Palace and the Gold Coast, which is all like there's not much for kids in there.
Yeah.
And you can't have it. You can't be under.
That'd be a good business plan, honestly, if you just built a resort based around no kids. Or do those exist already?
There's got to be some.
But you make it as dank and like a dive bar, hotel, resort, casino.
You got to, yeah. I just think Vegas in general, just draw a line on the whole city and no kids. There's fucking hookers everywhere. Why do you want to take your kid there? You walk down the fucking street, there's literally hookers fucking handing out hooker flyers on every corner, and you're going to take your fucking child there?
Yeah.
You're a bad parent. You take your kid to fucking Las Vegas. I'm telling you right now. I don't even know how we got on that topic. Oh, but it's a 21 and up baseball league.
Yes, 21 and up.
Yeah. You're drinking beers.
Yeah, we're just drinking beers and hanging out. That's pretty much it. Listen to music.
So you've been doing it for a few years. I mean, do you see a positive impact that it's making on the people that are playing? As far as
yeah, this I'm not very good on taking compliments. But just in the last year or so, I've had a lot of the guys that I respect that play with other teams and stuff. They've come to me on the side and just said, this is a cool thing you're doing. And, I'm really appreciative of the effort that you've taken to do this, and they really enjoy it and they really like it. And that means a lot to me. I mean, just somebody that I didn't know, a year ago coming up to me and going like, this is one of the best things I've ever gotten to be a part of.
Well, our society is drifting away from human connection.
Yeah.
In a drastic way.
Yeah.
And it's horrible for people's mental health.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Just being able to get together, and have a good, strong social group of friends, and play a game or bullshit or sit around or whatever, but just not be alone. It's gotta be what a lot of people need. And it's like you said, it's like going to the bar.
Yeah.
But you're taking that social experiment from the bar and leaving the bar and doing something active, which is better than just sitting at the bar.
It's true. True. I mean, maybe not by the amount of beers we consume and cigarettes we smoke. So I don't know how that.
It's got to be a little better.
How that weighs out. I had one at bat. I ran 90 feet and then I got to sit down for a little while and smoke a cigarette. So that's kind of how it works. It's not Gold's Gym by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, it seems like something that's having a positive impact just on the people I know that are involved in it.
I mean, it's helped me. I've enjoyed it. It's been such a plus in my life personally that I'm really happy I did it. It was just that bump. I just had to go, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it.
But it seems like the kind of thing that you kind of kickstart, and once it's running, it kind of starts to go on its own.
Yeah.
Like you got new teams joining, you got new this going. It's kind of.
I mean, you could probably just ask John sitting here. I mean, but he's probably just seen it. It just keeps rolling.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's like, and I'm not making any more of an effort than
I thought that it had been going on longer than it has. Only since 2022.
2022.
Yeah, that's not long.
I think our first get together was like March or June or March of 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I thought it had been going on long. It seems like a legit organization. I mean, you see these guys in their good looking uniforms, and
they can pimp themselves out as much as they want. I mean, that's up to them.
Who's got the best uniforms?
The Busters do. The Busters.
They got the best. Is it putting pressure on everybody else to up their uniform game?
I think so.
I mean, y'all feel like chumps when they got those nice embroidered patches and all that?
I think we look nice, but they have definitely upped their game. They're on a tier higher than everybody else.
So for the next 2025 season, you're gonna up it?
Yeah.
So the heat is on.
Yeah, the heat is on.
I mean, I think a lot of people would want to join just to get a uniform. Like,
yeah.
Oh, look at those uniforms. I want to join. I want to get a uniform. I want to be, you know what I mean?
A lot of it is they want the hat.
Yeah.
So everybody's got their own hat design and, jersey design and stuff. And it's definitely it's a gang,
I mean, they look legit.
You're joining a gang. Yeah.
They look legit. I think that I would see that as being a big push. It's getting people motivated to be a part of it. When they show up and you see how easy this is to join.
That's probably one of the biggest butting of heads competition, whatever you want to call it, within a team, is when they start designing their jerseys for the first time. That is the thing. That is like the pinnacle of all, like Sandlot arguments.
There's more competition in the uniforms than there is actually playing the game.
100%. And then you got to work on your hat after that too. So there's a hat is a whole different thing compared to a jersey. Yeah.
Oh man, I can.
Then you get stickers and you get all. You got to
get all the stuff to give out to the fans.
Yeah. Give away stuff all the time.
Lots of fans, crowds cheering when y'all show up.
Cheering and crowds.
I went to a game.
You mean a few enthusiastic people?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fun. There's other teams. There's teams that have a game time presentation that's much better than other people. Like the East Dallas Booze Hounds. They have Jimmy Coleman. I don't know if you know Jimmy Coleman. He's done X Games stuff, play-by-play, whatever. He brings his whole setup out there and does introductions with music.
Talks about who's up next and all that.
Yeah, he does the whole.
Does he play also, or he just does the thing?
He'll dip in and out.
Okay.
And but he does the walk-up music. So he asks everybody for their walk-up music. Like it's pretty badass. It's pretty badass. It's definitely one of the games you want to watch because he brings all that. But then other teams just kind of chill. We just blare music on our side.
Yeah.
And the Busters do the same thing. So yeah, it's just kind of you're bringing your party.
So whoever's at bat's in charge of the music, is that how it works?
Yeah. Whatever you if you play them, Jimmy will ask you what your walk-up song is.
Yeah.
And you just
I'm just saying, if it's like your team versus the Honey Busters, is y'all battling music playing from both dugouts?
Both dugouts. But you can't really, from the distance, you can't really hear the two. So
I would think that like whoever's at bat gets to be in charge of the sound.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, but mostly it's just there's a speaker in each dugout, and it's kind of like the dividing line is the pitcher's mound. So like if you're at first, you can hear one side, third, you can hear the other side. So we've had chaos. We've definitely had players come over to our side and go, the music's better over here.
But some of the parks you play have speaker systems or no? No,
these are
that.
These are just city parks.
Just city parks, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, man, years ago,
We're lucky that the city will chalk a foul line for us. So
you don't have the little.
We have one of those too.
Okay.
Yeah. We had to buy one. We had to invest. That's where the sponsor money went.
Yeah.
And got us a trailer. We got a trailer too.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, because we have so much shit that we haul around for the games. So we just throw it in the trailer, and then we have this trailer stored to where like anybody can go get access to it whenever they need it.
Cool. Yeah. Years ago, Elm Street Tattoo sponsored a girls' indoor soccer team. We had some friends that were on the soccer team. They're like, hey, they're looking for a sponsor. So we sponsored a team. And I went to the game and I was like, come on, you guys got to get it together. Like everybody's wearing different shorts.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing different socks. They had a t-shirt with their number on it and an Elm Street logo, but that was it. That was the only matching thing. And I was like, if I'm going to sponsor this team, we gotta up the game here. We gotta have, we gotta.
There's not much in soccer. I mean, we got
socks, shorts,
and a shirt,
and shoes.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, whatever it takes, we got to get everybody in a matching uniform.
Yeah.
And so just having the matching uniforms was huge. They show up on the field. The other team is just like,
Oh, you feel like you're doing something if you're all dressed the same. I don't know why that works. But
a lot of these girls that were on the teams got tattooed on the street. We all knew them, so a bunch of us started going to games, and then the crowd started getting big, and it would literally be the Elm Street Panthers with a crowd screaming, and the other team in Mix Max t-shirts with one husband on the bleachers over there, and it was like they dominated.
Yeah.
They ended up dominating. They played many years in a row and they dominated for the first couple of years. And it was because the momentum and the hype and the intimidation of the other team, they just destroyed the other teams every time, even when they were better players. And then I think the second or third year, some other teams like, hey, we got to get matching uniforms. They start, it up the whole league kind of like elevated just from that motivation. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it gets you excited when all the guys show up and we're all wearing the same stuff. And I said guys. I want to make sure that everybody knows that this is also co-ed,
all inclusive.
All inclusive. I don't give a shit who you are, as long as you're over 21 and you're cool. You can come out and play baseball. We've got a few women on our team. I know the Busters do as well. The Mudbugs have a lot. So do the Booze Hounds. But yeah, it's cool to like have women out there playing. It feels more level. I don't know how to explain that. It's not
a high competitive man on man environment. It's not, nobody's trying to crush anybody.
I don't know if this sounds weird, but like like having the women on the teams playing with us kind of brings everything, like the macho-ness that I think naturally oozes out of some of us, us guys.
Nobody wants to look like a dick in front of the women.
Yeah, I think so. It just kind of tones it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they're a lot more level-headed than us at times when we're just like, oh, God damn it.
Well, that's because they're around a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
You get them all by themselves. Who knows what they're doing?
Yeah, but also too, like we just kind of all self-regulate because every now and then you just can't help it, and you're just like, fuck, I screwed up. And you're kind of mad at yourself for 2 seconds. And then you look around and you realize I look like a dick, because everybody else is like, because nobody else cares. That's the thing, is everybody cares
about having fun,
but nobody cares.
Everyone cares about having fun. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think that's, I don't play baseball, but I equate it to skateboarding.
Yeah.
When you're not competitively skateboarding, like I competitively skateboarded when I was younger, I'm trying to skateboard a little bit more now, just for the action, for the, the continuing mobility of my aging body.
Yeah.
But I
keep those joints loose.
But the thing is like when you're just go to the skate park and just skate for fun, the competitiveness is not there.
Yeah.
And it's everybody just kind of having fun, and everybody's just kind of rooting.
You're just competing with yourself to see if you can do it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I like about this current stage of skateboarder that I am. I'm slacking off because I haven't been in a little while, but this last couple of years I kind of got a couple guys, and we've been going back at it, and it's only for the fun.
Yeah,
and in my mind I'm doing it just for the fun, but realistically I'm doing it because I need some sort of exercise, then I can't break myself to just go to the gym and mindlessly do nothing.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't compare Sandlot to a gym.
But you're not on the couch, and you're not on the bar stool, and you're walking around, and you're carrying stuff, and you're loading in, you're loading out, you're playing a game. You know, you get sweaty. It's
get some of that vitamin D, some fresh air.
Yeah.
You know. People that don't drink water, it kind of forces you to drink water at some point. I guess you can mix one in with a beer, but
as they always say, beer's got water in it, right?
Yeah, it does.
Speaking of water, I'm going to pee. Take a quick pee break. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Legacy Ink, the finest in tattoo pigments. I have been using this ink exclusively for over 20 years myself. It has been recently rebranded and marketed, but it has been the same recipe for decades. Real, hand-mixed tattoo pigments that heal great and last. People always comment on the yellow that I use and the yellow tattooed on me. My favorite, the Mayan yellow. I have seen countless 20-plus-year-old tattoos with the colors still vivid. Don't fuck around with all these newfangled companies with their watered-down baloney. Get the tried, true, and tested good shit. You can find them on Instagram at Legacy Pigments or email Ashley today to place an order at legacyartsupplies@gmail.com. Tell them Oliver sent you and receive a special discount. Don't just do tattoos. Be a part of a legacy. All right. Back from pee break. So to back up a little bit, you played when did you start playing baseball?
I never got to play as a kid.
Ever?
Ever.
What did you do?
I was an art nerd.
So you chose not to play.
No, I wanted to play. I tried out for my high school team when I was a freshman in high school because I really wanted to do it. Where I went to school, Skyline, down the street from here, I had like 4 periods of art every day. So there wasn't any time for that. I didn't have a physical education class to take up that space. And I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I love baseball. So I tried. Didn't work. Kind of just left it. I would get together with a few of my friends. Like the one I was telling you about passed away. Me and him used to go to parks and just, whack around baseballs and play catch and stuff like that. And we used to do those kind of things. But I never got an opportunity to do that. Well, I moved around when I was a lot as a kid. So I never was really stable enough to ever be able to participate in anything like that.
So when you didn't start till?
I didn't start till I was an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started my first men's league team. It was kind of one of those things that heard about it, got into it. I played a little softball first. So did that and then just kind of saw other people playing baseball and I was just like, what is that? Never even heard about it. Joined a league. Started playing and, just kind of got better at that and really just playing with the different levels of guys that I got to play with. I got to play with guys that played in the minor leagues and independent leagues and some major league guys and just listening to them talk about baseball on a very different level than I was used to, just like really reading what's going on and, those kind of things really helped me a lot. Just learning from them.
How long were you in the competitive league?
Over 10 years. Yeah.
And so what happened with COVID? Did that kind of fucking put a slowdown on that?
It was more of just people just trying to adjust to the unknown. That was really what it is. I mean,
but as far as like games that were being played, like 2020, did it stifle a lot of that or did it?
No, we still played. They just kind of put in some rules where there was no after game handshakes, that kind of stuff. If you feel sick, don't show up.
Yeah.
Just little things like, as much as you can do playing sports and continuing to play sports, that was pretty much it.
I was just curious if that kind of transition from the pandemic had anything to do with you making this move into this kind of baseball.
No, I don't think necessarily anything had to do with the pandemic.
You just got old.
I just got old. I just got old and I got old and I realized that I was old.
Yeah.
And, realized where I was in life and just, chose a different route.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool. So you grew up close to here.
Yeah. I'm a Grove rat.
Yeah.
I'm a Grove rat.
And you're 47.
47, yeah.
Went to high school down the street.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
95.
95. So you started hanging out in Deep Ellum in the mid to late 90s, or?
Yeah. I probably started going down there when I was about 13, 14 years old. My mom would go out to bars and stuff, and she started going to shows, going to the Orbit Room and places like, mostly the Orbit Room she'd go and hang out at. She had some friends that worked there, and just started really it came down to when I got my learner's permit.
Yeah.
My mom started dragging me out to the bars to go see shows, and she knew the bartender, she knew the door person, so they were just like, let me in. Yeah. And I'd hang out, and
a lot of people brought their kids to punk shows,
and then most of these were, these were 21 and up kind of deal. These weren't weren't all ages. These were these were at night, the real deal things. And she'd drag me out there, and I'd go to get to see shows and stuff, and then I'd drive her home.
I did a lot of hanging out at the Orbit Room.
Yeah.
I graduated high school in 89 and was pretty much, the whole senior year of high school. I went to high school in Fort Worth, and, came out to Dallas every weekend for shows. And then as soon as I got out of high school, I was living in Deep Ellum.
Yeah. I love the fact that my mom did that. I mean, I don't know if she had intentions of me like kind of hanging out in that crowd after a while, but, I got to see a lot of really cool bands that I never would have had an opportunity to see. I mean, one of my faves that I brag about was my opportunities. I got to see Radiohead at Trees.
Oh,
that was cool. That was really, really cool. I believe, if the story is correct, that was supposed to be an all ages show, and then Trees got busted or something like the weekend before. Some drunk kid that probably came in drunk already, and ABC shows up. And so they shut down their ability to do all ages shows. So that show turned from all ages to 21 and up. But due to the fact that I was with my mom, and she knew the door girl and people at the bar, I haven't been there in a while. I still think they still have the horseshoe bar or the square bar in the back. I sat all the way in the back wall and next to my mom, and got to watch that show. But it was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of great shows at Trees over the years. So you got in some bands.
Yeah.
What punk rock bands were you in?
Let's see. The ones that you would know, maybe. I was in the Boozers for a while. Okay. With Todd and Tracy and Brian Walker and Days and Reese. That band was fun. It was kind of weird when I got the opportunity to play in that band, because I had grown up watching that band all the time. So I was a fan already, and used to go to their shows all the time. And then my other little bands would get to open up for them or play with them at good old Clearview on a Thursday night kind of stuff. Yeah. And then I got to play with them, and that was a blast. And then I did the only other one that you probably would know is the Hellions. Oh yeah. With Dave Woodard. Yep. That was actually a different band, and we morphed into the Hellions, and that was fun. That was a fun gig. Oh yeah, they played a lot. Yeah, they played a lot. I ended up leaving that band, and then I moved out of the country, and they kind of continued on, but I don't think they play all that much anymore. Maybe once a year, twice a year. But that was really fun. That was probably one of the craziest first shows I ever had. We got to open up for Reverend Horton Heat on Christmas Day or Christmas night. At Trees. It was just us and Reverend Horton Heat. And I'd never been in front of a crowd that large before. Christmas Day. Not to cut you off, but Christmas Day. Those were the things. In Deep Ellum used to be jamming. Yeah, that was the night. I used to get done with my family and go to work. Yeah. Like going to work on Christmas? Hell yeah. Deep Ellum's going to be jamming. Yeah. This year on Christmas Day. Yeah. Deep Ellum was a fucking ghost town. Yeah, I don't go down there much anymore. You could have parked anywhere. Really? And a lot of the bars, there's some bars that were open, but a lot of bars weren't open. And I was like, man, Deep Ellum used to be, that's the night. Yeah. Like Thanksgiving night after people done thing, they go out. Yep. Christmas night after everybody done, people, they go out. Yep. And it could be a Tuesday and it looked like a Saturday. Even every other year, other than just this last Christmas, it's been busy. I don't know, something about this Christmas. Huh. It just, I mean, no matter what ups and downs Deep Ellum's been in. Yeah. It's always been people down there. It was a very strange. I think a lot of bars just chose to
not be open. But
I wonder if it has to do with, post pandemic, like the finally
dude,
having
even last year, Christmas was jamming.
Yeah,
like the previous year when it was still
I was just thinking people having the opportunity to travel, the ability to travel more freely than they did before.
I don't know. Who knows what happened?
But yeah,
that would have been a jamming show.
Yeah, it was. So I remember loading in the early afternoon or late afternoon, and just seeing everything, setting up the whole 9 yards. I left. My parents used to own a bar down the street. They owned a bar down the street for about 10 years. And so I walked down there to hang out for a bit.
What was the bar?
Blue Cat Blues.
Oh, yeah. I remember Blue Cat.
That was my stepdad and my mom's place.
All right.
I used to work the door there for a while. That place that was a whole different story in itself. I got to meet like Edgar Winter there and a bunch of other people, and just got to hang out with the guy from the band, Levon Helm from the band. He played at my parents' bar. His tour manager gave me a pop brownie, and I never had one before, and that got me so I couldn't count my money at the end of the night. It was awful. Like, because he tried to give it to me early in the day, and I was like, no, man, I got to work. It's gonna be a busy show. I appreciate it. And he came back to me after the show was over when I was closing out at the door, and we'd kicked everybody out. And so I was like, okay. And I ate it. At the time, he gave me a piece about this big, and it was about that thick. And I was going to split it with my girlfriend. My girlfriend was like, no, I don't want it. And I was like, okay. And I just ate it. Ate the whole thing. I mean, a block. And I would guess maybe it took 10, 15 minutes. And I remember counting my money, and it was completely off. I was like, $200 short. I was like, oh shit, what did I do? So I counted again. Then I was like $50 over, and I counted again, and then I was short. And I was like, I couldn't figure out what the deal was. And so it even got to the point to where I had a piece of paper, and I was going $1 mark, $1 mark. And I did that 3 times, and it still came out to different numbers. So I went to my mom knew what had happened, because I guess the road manager had told my mom. And I took the money in the back to give to my mother to to close out for the night. And I walked up to her, and I looked at my mom dead in the eye, and I was like, I cannot do this right now. And she just goes, it's okay.
Oh my God.
But she probably knew something was going on, because before that, I went back to the back to get some change or something. And my mom, my stepdad, Levon Helm, his tour manager, his daughter who was in a band with him, and somebody else from the band, they were standing in the office at the old bar was about this size, and they were standing in a circle. I think there were 6 of them or so, and there was probably 5 joints being passed around. So my mom was already there before I even got there. So I think she knew what was going on. It was a bunch of hippies. It was,
yeah. Sounds about right for the time.
Yeah, it was. It was a bunch of hippies just
sounds about
living it up for the evening. Yeah. Oh, but anyway, what I was saying is I came back to Trees. I walked up to the club, the lines around the block. So I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I've never played at a show this big. And then we're inside. I see it. The Trees is packed, the upstairs, downstairs, the whole 9 yards. And I had to go up on stage.
Everybody's dressed all cool.
Yeah, everybody looks cool. And
damn.
And it's just happening. And I went behind my drums to get a pack of cigarettes out of my backpack. And I made the mistake of turning around and just by myself behind my drum, seeing the sea of people. And I went into full panic mode. It was when you could smoke inside. And I sat on the side of the stage and just chain smoked. I was freaking out. That was a rough show. It was fun, but it was rough. It was rough emotionally, because I had never played in front of anybody that big before.
Man, those were the good times.
Yeah.
Those were the good times. Just the fact that Reverend Horton Heat used to play so much down there. Old 97 is Reverend Horton Heat.
Once a week? Or?
Used to play, at least once a month. And I mean, as time went on, it became less frequent.
Well, because they were probably on the road more often. Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen, a lot of the bands like that I've seen so many times.
Yeah.
So many times. But it used to be the thing to do.
Yeah.
On the Thanksgiving night and the Christmas night and all that.
Remember the old days when they throw the garage door open at Trees?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those were the best.
They got rid of the garage door.
I know, that sucks. There were so many fantastic shows that I couldn't get into because it was sold out, but I got to stand on the sidewalk and see the back of the drummer and basically watched the show because they had the garage door open because it was so fucking hot in there.
Yeah. I mean, that was the real reason. Hey, have you been to Trees lately?
I have not.
It's cold in there.
Oh, is it?
Ice cold in there.
They fixed the AC.
Oh man, they remodeled the entire club.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful in there. The green room is real nice.
Yeah.
Everything is top notch. Yeah. Lighting is great. The stage is redone. You could pack it to the gills and it's ice cold in there.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get out anymore. It's just, kids and life and all that kind of good stuff. And, you're telling me that I have to be somewhere at 10:30 at night? Are you kidding me? Who do you think I am?
Yeah, we have our tattoo festival there. So it's all day.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And a lot of the tattooers complain about how cold it is. Literally.
That place you would melt.
Oh, used to be
melt.
Yeah, now they have got a lot of AC in there.
Nice.
It's cranked. Especially with the full concert, you get a lot of people in there. You need it.
Yeah.
But when you have like a tattoo show where there's booths everywhere, there's a fraction of the amount of people because everything's taken up with. It's frigid. Yeah. Nice, nice and cool.
I think I was just thinking about what the days when they pop up in the garage door, because I think that was still the days when they had the low stage.
It's a little.
I think it was that the drums used to be really high, and then the stage was only like 2 feet tall at the time.
Now the whole stage is like chest high.
Yeah.
Oh man, fucking! So when did you get out of being in bands?
I just kind of phased out of it in a way. I just really couldn't give the time to it that I wanted to. It was my last band that I was in was the Kansas City Faggots. I don't know if you know Jason Wizenhunt.
Yeah.
Wizard. He passed away a couple years ago. But I was in the band with them, and that was a really fun band. I had a good time with that. And that band just kind of fizzled out. It kind of ran its course. And then I got a few offers here and there. Just nothing was.
But you got all these kids.
Yeah. Nothing was sparking my interest, but then also at the same time, it was like I was preoccupied with other stuff.
Yeah. I've got I had a cover band, Ramones cover band going for a long time. And it's like hard to get the guys to do a show the last like 5 years. Mm-hmm. It's been very hard to get all 4 guys to have the same time to be able to even meet for a practice. They all got kids, they all got jobs, they all got this, they got that. It's like the last time we played was like a year ago. Yeah. And it took, it was insane trying to get some practices in, because somebody couldn't do this day and somebody couldn't do that day. It was just nuts.
That's why we have on I suggest to the other teams is to run with like 20, 25 guys on a team. And that's also for that reason, is so that like no one feels like you only need 9 to play. Yeah. But if you end up with 12, 13, 14, that's great. Someone can rest. It gets hot. But it really just, it keeps people from feeling like playing on the team is now an obligation. Yeah. Because they feel like they're going to, like, well, if I don't show, then they don't have enough, that kind of thing. So,
well, if you got 25 people on the team, then do you put all 25 in batting rotation or no?
Yeah, we bat everybody that shows up. But I mean,
so just a longer time to wait between the bats.
Yeah, but it's very rare that we have that many people. We're usually rolling with like 12, 13, 14. Because people travel for work, people have kid shit to do, life stuff to do. And so I don't ever want it to be where they have to not do life stuff in order to feel the obligation to come play. I want you to be there because you're available, you're free, and you want to do it.
As far as the way the game is played, the rules of baseball, do y'all follow all the standard baseball rules, or is there some Sandlot variants?
We kind of, yes and no. We do try to play 9 innings every game. We try to, keep to that general, template of baseball. but we make up rules as we go.
Don't y'all have a maximum run per inning?
Yeah, that's something that we kind of instituted just to keep anything from getting out of control.
Otherwise, you just play forever.
Yeah, 100%. So we do a 5-run limit rule.
Yeah,
and that's really because just sometimes we have someone throw a pitching that can't throw strikes, or they're just getting the shit hit out of it. Then if you score 10 runs in an inning, you're really sucking the fun out of the game. You know what I mean? Because then your team is still stuck on the field, standing in the sun. Nothing positive is happening, and the other team is just racking it up.
Like, let's go.
Yeah. So we do that to kind of control that in a way, because a lot of times if 5 happens, you can almost kind of reset and then come back out and try again, or maybe bring in a different pitcher to or calm things down. But what we also do to counteract that is the last inning of the game, whether it's 7 innings, 8 innings, 9 innings, wherever we choose to do, it's unlimited runs. So we always leave that open to you can just go crazy and come back. We learned that because someone obviously way smarter than me was like, hey, we're down by 9.
There's no way to win.
And we can only score 5. Why even play the last inning? And I was like, we're changing that rule. But that's how we work. We just, we're always on the fly, change anything. If a team, say like my team's had before, where a catcher isn't able to be there, and I have to be back there, or just somebody on the team has to be back there, we'll tell everybody there's no stealing today, just because the person behind it's going to have a difficult enough time just catching the ball.
Yeah,
that you guys can just run crazy on the base pads, and you're again sucking the fun out of it. So,
but y'all normally allow stealing.
Yes, yeah, we do. Yeah. But in the pickup games, we had a whole different set of rules. We do the 5-run limit, but we also do no stealing, just again, because we don't know who's going to be there.
Used to it, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know who's going to be there, anything. We still allow you to take a couple step of a lead. You can still get picked off if you're not paying attention, which does happen, which is really funny when someone gets picked off and you can't steal. So that's a really funny thing when that happens. But yeah, we kind of just make them up as we need and whatever works best for that game. And we borrow players too. If we're short, we borrow players, and no one gives a shit. So we're, it's not the head-to-head competition as it is much as you're getting to play a game where we're keeping score.
Yeah. But you do keep score.
Yeah. Well, you have to know where you are. That incentivizes, from inning to inning, how you feel, what you're doing. The score does control the game at some aspect.
But as the group of 5 teams, do you not keep a ranking or have a final? You think that'll ever change? If there gets to be a bunch more teams, you'll move into a situation where you have like a World Series playoff game?
Maybe we'll have something at some point in time where we have some kind of a weekend tournament and we all play each other and we do that just for that weekend. But overall, I'm kind of against that, just because, again, that brings in who's better than who else.
Yeah.
And, you can talk shit within your own team about the other teams, which I know they do.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him laughing.
Oh, yeah.
I know they do. And, he can say he doesn't, but we do too. I know all the teams do. So we all have our little group chats or whatever, and we talk shit, but it's all in fun,
Yeah. What about pranks? Are there any pranks allowed on the field?
You can honestly do pretty much whatever you want. We don't have any rules for that. If it happens, we do hidden ball tricks.
Okay.
People try that. It usually never works. I think maybe one time I saw it work. Because we're also paranoid, not paranoid, but we all know that we all want to do that to each other. So if you see anything that even looks like that's possibly happening, everybody's just like, hidden ball trick.
Yeah.
They'll call you out on it real fast. But as far as pranks, no, I haven't really seen anything. But
maybe now there will be.
Some teams, do shots and guzzle beers, that kind of stuff. But I haven't seen any hot foot or anything like that. I have thought about doing the gum on the top of the hat. Or I think what do they put in it? They usually stick something in the gum and then stick it on the top of their head. They don't know. Or on the batting helmet or something like that. But I've tried that, but I wasn't successful.
You gotta put something in somebody's gloves when they put their glove on. It's
Gloves are. I don't know if that would fly.
People be pissed.
Gloves are.
People be mad.
People are sensitive about their gloves.
Put a bunch of stencil in there. Purple hand.
Yeah, I don't think that would go. You'd have to really look at the glove and go, how piece of a shit is this
How
glove?
serious? I mean, a lot of times the more worn it out is, the more piece of shit is, the more the sentimental attachment to that glove is.
Yeah, but you can kind of gauge on how it's being treated or how it looks. But yeah, I don't know if that would fly very well.
Whew. Could be fun.
Yeah, I think you'd get away easier with like writing on somebody's face with a Sharpie than you would messing with somebody's glove.
Oh man, I got some photos of Josh. Fell asleep at a party at my house. We got him really good.
Oh, nice.
And he got us back by peeing on the couch.
Was it that in response, or he
It
didn't
was
know?
the same night. He got written on,
Oh.
and then he stayed on the couch. And
Yeah. The fact that you didn't feel that led to the fact that you didn't feel the other thing.
Oh yeah, he was out. He was out. Good old party days.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I was going to ask you, what was your buddy's name that passed away that you used to work with at the shop?
Dean Williams.
Dean. That's right. The Dean. I was going to tell you, I booked his band.
The Bottom Line.
Yes. At the, I ran some shows that we did over on Clover in a garage over there. We called it the Holy Banana because it had a banana spray paint on the outside. It was a friend of mine's mom's house. And we did I think we did one of their first shows over there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dean Williams, my partner at Elm Street.
Yeah. He was a good dude.
I mean, that's definitely one of those situations, like you have, you know, your friend passed away and you realize fucking life is short, you know, and like I said, it's shorter for some people than others, and you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Dean was an incredible, insane lunatic character.
He was, I'd met him a dozen times and he was always super, super
He's
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, Mike was in that band with him. His nickname was Dreidel. You remember Mike?
Is he the big guy with long hair?
He was the small Jewish guy.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah. He ended up being in some other bands, like moving. He's the guy that stayed in bands. Everybody else in the band kind of like, that was their band, and they weren't in bands anymore. Yeah. Dean's daughter is playing guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like 16.
Oh, okay.
And she's got his guitar, and she's playing guitar. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really
Especially if it's
cool.
his guitar.
Yeah. He's got the Bottom Line sticker on there.
That's awesome.
I always thought that was a great band name too.
Yes. Yeah, there was some really good band names back then. I think there was one of the names of the bands that played that show with Dean was there was a band called Mexican Breakfast. I always loved that name. They're from Denton, I believe.
I don't remember that. I love that name though.
Yeah, Mexican Breakfast. I think that same show was either the first show of Paper Chase with John Congleton.
So Bobby, that was in Paper Chase.
Yeah, Bobby.
Was also in Bottom Line.
Oh, was he?
At some point in his career, yeah. Some
Bobby,
point in the
Bobby
flow
was
of it.
A really good bass player.
Yeah.
That dude is awesome.
Yeah. We called him Boba.
I saw your flyer over there for the I think it was El Diablo.
Oh yeah. That was the first Slow Ride show.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
That flyer is from the very first Slow Ride show.
Yeah, I saw Slow Ride was up there too. Yeah, with Bobby that had I'm sorry, El Diablo had Omar.
Yep.
Terrence Sandoval, the drummer. He passed away.
Oh yeah.
Like about a year and a half ago. And then man, we're getting old and all these people.
Right. Well, Slow Ride was the Anchor screen printing right there.
Yeah.
That you came in when you went in.
Rob is a buddy of mine. Yeah, he's a good dude.
And like Dan Phillips was partner in Anchor when we started in '99, and that was where Slow Ride was born. The practice studio used to have a studio in there.
Yeah.
The first Slow Ride album was recorded in there.
Oh, that first record's that's one of my favorite all time records.
So cool.
I listen to it all the time. That's a fantastic record.
So cool. Yeah, I love that band.
Yeah, I did.
And
what I was saying was that El Diablo, I think it was who was in that band? It was Omar and Terrence. Andy. What reason I was bringing that up was Andy Martin.
Yeah.
He played with me in the Hellions.
Yep.
And that was his other band. And then who else was in that? Omar, Andy. Yeah, I don't remember. But that was a good band too.
That was a great show.
Yeah.
Great show.
Yeah.
And, Slow Ride didn't play that many shows when you look back at it.
I think they toured more than they ever played here.
They toured a little bit, but a couple of big tours, and they played in Dallas. I mean, man, maybe a couple dozen times at most.
I think I saw them one time. I think that was the only time I had. But I've listened to that record. I've listened to that record a million times.
They played my Christmas party a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, great. It's still one of my favorite Dallas bands.
Yeah.
I talked to Rob Marchant, the bass player, just the other day.
Oh,
He's living in Austin, doing good.
Yeah.
He's in the Gamblers and all that now.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. So I'm surprised that we haven't run into each other more.
I think I've been introduced to you a dozen times at the shop mostly, and that kind of thing. I used to hang out at Paradise all the time.
Oh yeah,
hung out with Woodard and Richard Stell.
Yeah,
and then Chris Merchant.
Yep,
Merchant over there. Merchant did most of my stuff over here. That's his thing.
Oh, he's great.
And I am very proud that I did get one tattoo from Richard one time. He did one on the side of me and damn near killed me.
Oh, oh my God. Yeah. I got a lot of tats from Richard and they hurt.
I sat down for I think it was about 6 hours. He did a side piece for me. And it's
like a massacre.
He leans in with that elbow and he's digging in there like he's carving wood.
Yeah.
That shit hurts.
Oh man.
I think he was about 3.5 hours in and then his hand got tired and he was just like, "You all right?" And I was just like, "Yeah." I was fighting through it. He goes, "I know this hurts." He was like, "I've been doing this for a long time."
Yeah.
Just from the time frame that he had been tattooing me that day. And he was like, "Let's take a break." Because he was like, "My hand's cramping up. You got to be hurting." That was just, he had a heavy hand and getting right on those ribs was not necessarily a good time.
He was quick though.
Yeah. Well, 6 hours, it's pretty sizable. Yeah. It's a big one for 6 hours. That was the most I've ever sat for.
Yeah, he'll get it done. I mean, I've got some tattoos from him that were like 30, 40 minutes and they hurt like they lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd always heard stories about him, and I think I went the wrong route. It's like, that guy's got a heavy hand. Why don't you just do a giant piece on your ribs? Yeah, I kind of went the wrong way on that one.
Well, man, I'm pretty stoked to hear how things are going. I hear a lot from John, and
it's fun times.
The Oak Cliff Sandlot.
Yep.
And y'all can check it out. Instagram,
Facebook. The website has a place that you can sign up for. I only send out one email a month, so you're not going to get flooded with anything. It's basically an overview of what we're going to do for the month. Like when I get home today, I'm going to send out the email for all of next month. So you can sign up there and just put your email address in and you'll get notified once a month at everything that's going on.
Well, cool. Well, we're going to put links. We're going to put links at the end of the show and everybody can find it. But the big takeaway for people that are listening is that if you want to play baseball,
you can,
and you just want to have fun, it's easy.
If you've never played before.
But you do have to want to have fun. That is that seems to be one of the main criteria.
We're not fucking around with anybody coming out there trying to like be Mr. Baseball. It's not gonna fly. You're not gonna have fun.
Yeah,
because nobody else is gonna want you around. But you just gotta have good vibes and be positive, and then just have fun and soak it up and enjoy the moment. And if you're doing that, like you'll fit right in.
Yeah, you want to have fun. You want to play baseball, and
we have. I mean, and I don't want anybody to think too that it's like super punk rock. We're doing some DIY kind of just over the top thing.
Yeah,
like we have people from all ranges of life. My wife asks me all the time, and maybe this is just a woman thing, but she's always just like, she'll ask me about one of my players on my team that we're friends with. And she was like, "Well, how's their wife doing?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know. We're not talking." I'm not asking him about his wife or his job. Like most of the people, I don't know their last name. I don't know what
I got pictures of his kids right here.
I don't know what they do for a living, and I don't give a shit. Like they're cool, and we had a good time, and we hung out and drank beers and talked about what we're watching and maybe something else random. But I was like, I think that's a wife thing though. Like, how their wife's doing? I was like, I don't know.
Come to the game, ask his wife.
That's what I tell her. I was like, if you show up, you can ask them yourself.
Yeah.
I'm never going to ask them about their wife or their personal life because I don't fucking care. And unless it's important enough, they want to talk to me about it, then we'll have a conversation. But like this place is to exit life.
Yeah.
This is an off ramp. You take 3 hours out of your day, you play baseball, you hang out, you just have fun, live in the moment, and then you can get in your car and go back to whatever the hell you were doing before.
Bingo. So like I said, you want to play baseball, this might be the option for you. And if you're in Dallas, check out the Oak Cliff Sandlot. But if you're not in Dallas, wherever you are in the country,
look for Sandlot.
There seems like this is a growing thing, and there are teams all over the country, and you could be a part of something cool.
And if you don't have Sandlot in your town that you're in, start one. It's very easy. And if anybody ever wants to start one, just hit me up on Instagram and I will walk you through the whole process. It's very, very easy.
Basically what you do is you cut up and make a flyer on Xerox, and then you put up in telephone poles around your town and say, meet me at the park.
And if you can get people to read a random flyer and show up to a park to meet people they don't know, those are the people you want to hang out with.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. It truly is. I mean, also the other good thing about it is, like, with my team, I've met so many people that live within blocks of me that I did not know existed.
But that's how it was when you were a kid.
Yeah.
You just went to the park
and you met kids,
and there was other kids there, and that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is basically as grassroots as it gets. You just all meet at the same place and have fun together.
Yeah, and you can't do it if you don't show up. That's pretty much
and you don't have to drink beer.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You don't have to drink beer. You don't have to drink. There's a lot of people that don't drink, and that's totally cool. We have waters and sodas and all that kind of good stuff. But even if you're scared and you don't want to do it, you can just show up. And I tell people, just show up, sit in the stands, and watch a couple innings. Yeah. If it's your bag, jump in the game. Yeah. And you know what? If you show up late, that's fine. If you got to bail early, that's fine. No one cares. They were just glad you were there. Yeah. Man, sounds cool. Yeah. Good job. Thank you. Keep it up. I hope so. Pass the torch. Get more people in. Yeah, I hope so. It's growing. It's growing. Bingo. Well, thank you for coming here. Thank you for telling me more about it. Thanks, sir. And like I said, I know a handful of people that are in it. Yeah. And they are the kind of people who like to have fun. Yeah, there are a lot of good people. A lot of good people, like that guy over there. This guy? Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I've hung out with him enough. I think he's all right. We love him. We love him so much. We begged him to move to Dallas. I had fun with him when we went to Winona, Minnesota. We rocked Winona. Yeah, we begged him for years, and he's finally here. Yeah, I'm glad he's here. Chicago sucks, by the way. All right, that's it for the show. Hey, they don't have Sandlot, so obviously they do suck. That's it for the show. Thank you for being here. Take it easy. Hey, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Come on, guys, click all those links, push all those buttons, because it really helps us out and gets us out there to more and more peeps. What in the Duck podcast is produced by Audra Cabral and John.com Niederkorn. Our sound, video engineer, and editor is Courtney, Junior Larkins. Initial audio video setup and intro music by Blake Balake Pinchon. And a big thanks to everyone that submitted questions. Y'all keep them coming. Email me any questions you would like me to answer to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on What in the Duck. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Label Solutions, www.labelsolutionsinc.com. I've been a customer of theirs for over a decade. They make the highest quality premium labels for all kinds of products. Food and beverage, personal care products, pet care products, beer and wine spirits, CBD products, automotive products, and more. They can make a label for almost anything. Multicolor, custom die cut, full wraparound labels, too many options to even tell you about. I use Label Solutions for all the stickers and labels for my stuff, like the Tiki Loco label on the coffee I'm drinking right now. They do have a minimum order of 1,000 labels, so they won't make you 20 labels for that soap you're making in your bathtub.
But if you've got products to label, you need Label Solutions. Get started today at www.labelsolutionsinc.com.